Does the FDA regulate food supply? Well, that is a great question. But if you're selling food from home, does the FDA regulate and oversee home based food businesses? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 4 specific things that you need to understand about the FDA and regulations in regards to selling food. So definitely hit the subscribe button. Welcome to Marketing Food Online. It's Damian Roberti, founder and CEO. We've got a ton of great food entrepreneur videos here, and we have several other food channels that are just launching. You definitely want to check out those links down below. But I wanted to dive into this question because, believe it or not, this question is something that comes up all the time, especially from our other channel, Cottage Food Laws, and occasionally actually from our food truck channel as well. But you got to understand something. Home-based food businesses, which are actually gaining in huge popularity, but a common misconception persists that the belief that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, directly regulates these small operations. Now, in reality, the FDA does not typically oversee any home-based food businesses at all. And understanding why requires a little bit of a look at the agency's role and the laws that actually govern these types of food businesses. Number one, what does the FDA actually regulate? So the FDA is responsible for ensuring the safety in food products sold interstate commerce, okay? Now, its regulations focus on large-scale food production. That is the one big difference. I'm going to break down 3 others that I'm going to go through in detail in just a second, but understand this. They oversee mainly large-scale food production, especially for products distributed across state lines or internationally with other countries. Now, the agency's role is to manage the risks associated with mass food production, where contamination can affect a large part of the population. However, the FDA's oversight does not extend to small home-based food businesses that typically serve local markets. Number 2, this is important. Why doesn't the FDA regulate home-based food businesses? Well, you got to understand one other thing. The home-based food business operator is a small-scale production, okay? Often serving local customers within a single state or even a city or county. These businesses fall under the jurisdiction of state and local authorities rather than the FDA. Most states actually have enacted what's known as cottage food laws, which we talk a lot about here on Marketing Food Online, which allow individuals to prepare and sell low-risk food products from home. Things like baked goods, jams, jellies, basically out of their own kitchen. The foods, though, are considered low risk for foodborne illnesses. So they're not really subject to any stringent regulations or regulatory issues with the FDA, which they impose on larger producers or larger production facilities. So the FDA actually recognizes that the state and local governments are better suited to regulate these smaller operations. And that's one reason why the FDA doesn't step into home-based food businesses, because each state can tailor its own regulations to meet the specific needs of its population within the state. Number 3, the role of the actual state and local authorities. Now, you do need to know as well that the state and local health departments enforce cottage food laws. So they want to ensure that home-based food businesses operate safely, that regulations may include requirements for food safety training courses or kitchen inspections, or even labeling standards, okay? So some states also require entrepreneurs to obtain potential licenses or permits, maybe even attend a food safety course or pass an inspection to ensure that they're actually operating meets the specific safety standards, okay? Number 4, and lastly, common misunderstandings. So the misconception that the FDA actually regulates all food businesses often arises from a misunderstanding of the FDA's scope and what they oversee, right? So since the FDA is a national agency, people assume that it oversees all food-related activities. However, the FDA's focus is actually on larger scale interstate food production, not small local businesses. Understanding this distinction, though, is really crucial, to be quite honest with you, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of people don't understand that, and they're too worried to start because they think that the FDA is going to come knock on their front door and start inspecting things. That's not really how it works. So anyone starting a home-based food business needs to understand that, okay? Misunderstanding the rules of different regulatory bodies can lead to unnecessary concerns or even a lack of awareness and actual regulations that do apply. So by focusing on the specific state and local requirements, entrepreneurs can ensure compliance with their local businesses when they start to sell food from home. So if this was helpful in your understanding of how the FDA really works, definitely give us a big thumbs up. If you've got questions about launching your own food business in regards to the FDA and its role, definitely ask us down below. We're always here to help. And check out our other resources, other channels here on YouTube in regards to food truck entrepreneurship and home-based food businesses. I'll see you guys in our next video.